See how this goes. It's okay. It's all right. That came out. All right, let's go record this. The voice from above tells us. All right. Macaulay's Magical Mystery Mayhem. Welcome to the Dark Arts.
Yes, welcome everybody. Thanks for having me again. I always love coming up to Whiskey Go Week. Do the radio show every year. Try to teach a seminar. Try to eat as much chowder and lobster rolls as possible, and always have a good time up here with everyone. So, we decided I teach a lot of seminars. Go through the mantra of what the whiskey is. Explain where we came from, but I really want to change it up today. So we're going to do a blind tasting of 7 whiskeys. We are
And
also
somebody will die. No, 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 no.
So everyone has the 7 whiskeys in front of them,
The 7 deadly whiskeys.
and we're going to play a little game also with this. So everyone has a notebook in front of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 1 through 7 in the notebook, and then you're going to have 2 categories next to that. The first category is going to be whiskey. So as we're tasting through this, you're going to guess if this is a rye whiskey or a bourbon. The next category next to it is what is the finish or is it unfinished? So you can say a type of wood, maybe a wine or spirit, maybe maple syrup barrel, anything like that. Then we are going to trade books with the people behind you. No husband wife trading and giving 100 on it, please. And then the top
Wives will not give their
score,
husband 100.
yeah,
Don't worry about that one. They might take points off.
the top score of this activity is going to win a bottle of whiskey of their choice from Julio's. And
No, from Macaulay.
I'm going to use my credit card
There
at
you go.
Julio's.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I've seen your credit card. Maybe not.
yeah. So, does anyone have any questions on that so far? I know it might sound a little foreign and complicated,
Well,
but
before we get into that, and
yeah,
I think this is really fun, and I'm very up for this,
yes.
especially the spinning wheel of death, which comes later. Is everybody familiar with dark arts? Has anybody not had dark arts that's here? You guys understand what dark arts is? Dark Arts Whiskey House? Oh, you do? Okay. For those of those that are playing at home that may not know, why don't you just give me a very brief synopsis of what you guys do?
So, Dark Arts Whiskey House and Alchemy Research Lab is located in Lexington, Kentucky. We were recently added to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. Our specialty is buying and curating aged product. We bring it back to our warehouses and do micro batching, unique finishes, different blends of different finishes, and have close to 100 different products in the portfolio. We recently we're putting in a new still system at our distillery, and I will be starting another company called Noble Arts. We will be making experimental whiskeys, gins, absinthes, amaros, all those things. But we're here for Dark Arts today. We have been in the Massachusetts market because of Mr. Ryan Maloney. Wasn't planning on expanding here. But we're in 33 states. We're working on foreign export market. We started this company in 2023 and have rapidly grown it. We have won countless awards from San Francisco Spirits Awards, Fred Minnick's Ascot Awards. We are one of the.
And is it true that you've bought Fred some extra ascot?
I actually made I made Fred and me. I got some dark arts material, silk. It took us forever to find silk to get screen printed on, and then my friend sewed 2 ascots together. So Fred was doing his book tour, and I showed up with my ascot and my dark arts pocket square, and gave that to him, and he signed a book for me. But that was after the Ascot Awards and
There
the
you go.
Fred Minnick Top 100. So
The story is that was after the awards.
but it's just, we're one of the
No,
fastest growing craft variants in the country. I mean, statistically
we just
speaking,
featured in the last Whiskey Advocate,
yeah,
the current Whiskey Advocate.
that was for our
Micro
blending
blending
project.
projects. Yeah.
So Lots of exciting news out there. I mean, there's countless podcasts that explain more of it. You're always welcome to come down to Kentucky and visit the distillery. We have a beautiful facility. It looks like no other place. It's very avant-garde. It's got black and gold. It's got the mysticism in it. Very customized space that me and my fiance and team kind of designed. It's when you go to distilleries, it's like, all right, and you're in Kentucky, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Bardstown and do corporate research on how to design my place. And it's like, you know what? Let's put distillery white in there, or white, or eggshell in there, and then, I think it's a good idea to get some barrel furniture, and let's put some metal industrial poles in there too. Make sure it looks like everything
Sounds
else.
beautiful.
So we'd want to do something totally different. We have a lot of different experiences there. We have about 15 barrels on the ground that you can do thief out of the barrel, custom blending. We also have a beautiful bar program. I mean, craft cocktails. You can try through about 100 different pours of whiskey. We're sourcing like Armagnacs, different French spirits, different wines. So you can really dive into the products that you have. So you can sit there at the bar. You can have an unfinished pour of one of the whiskeys. You can have the finished varietal of it, and then you can actually drink the wine or the spirit next to it to kind of see how that flavor progression goes back into it.
That's a whole sensory type thing too.
Yeah,
It's really
100%. Because I actually get to travel the world sourcing exotic woods, wine, and spirits barrels. We work with individual producers. I mean, I know the forest that this stuff comes from. We worked with our cooperage partners to develop these custom toast profiles that we seem worthy of our whiskey to go in there. And I think it's something different that most people don't do. You can just get online, call a broker, get it. But I think it's understanding the, that family, that cognac producer, walking in the grape field, and just being able to nuance and like carry on that journey and that story back here. Because I think knowing and having that education behind it and being able
Mhm.
to explain that is a little bit more deeper than I got port. I think it came from Portugal. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted like, people to understand like this is sort of a new, this is a different concept than most people are used to. So I just wanted them to at least have like some sort of like a little background on that of what it is.
Yeah, me and Ryan have known for each other for many years at this
Yeah.
point. I used to work at Wilderness Trail Distillery. I worked in their microbiology lab. I was a distiller. I ran the bottling facility, and then I started their single barrel pig program and was over quality control, basically master taster and blender of that organization before quitting and starting Dark Arts. So
There was only one finished whiskey ever at Wilderness Trail, and we did that one.
yeah, we actually picked some barrels together, blended some barrels on that project, I think, and
Yep,
then
we blended them, and then did the we brought down a maple syrup barrel.
yeah, he took those back to Vermont
Yep.
actually, and then we brought them back and finished it. So, interesting thing is I finished 2 barrels of whiskey in my career before I started a finishing company.
That's right. And we were one of them.
Yes.
So very cool. All right, now on to the mayhem.
Yeah, so this is going to be fun. I think that the way that I want to approach this is we're going to just slowly go through these. I think that we can use some context clues from each other. Maybe me and Ryan give a little bit
Well,
of
yeah,
tasting note or
I think it
something
is
like that.
good. Like say like if we ask you what like what are you tasting? What are you doing? Like say what you're tasting. And now there's no wrong answers. There is not right ones, but there's no wrong, right? But it's important because when you taste something, it's also what's going on in your head too. It's not just there's no set like you must taste this.
Well, I'll talk about tasting for just a second. Like you said, there's no right or wrong way. Everyone is an individual in here, and it's your perception. There's several factors that goes into what you taste in a whiskey on just the biological side. So, looking around the room, everyone has different genetics. So some people wear glasses, some people don't hear that well, and there's people that have master taster genetics. So I actually took a genetics test in college, and I have the super taster genetics. And out of almost 7,000 people at the University of Kentucky, still have the highest rating of that. So, and it also goes into cultural things too. Like, did you grow up in the morning eating donuts, or did you grow up eating, like bacon and eggs, savory food? I mean, is your family someone that makes spicy curries? Like, so those kind of generational and like food preferences always come into that play too. Because I mean, some people like sweet, some kind of spicy, some people like a little mix of it all. So that
And even
really goes
even the
into it.
experience of tasting something even the experience itself of tasting something will remind you of something. And for like me, that might be a good experience. What you're tasting, let's say it's, I don't know, let's say it's pineapple, right? For me, that's good. For somebody else, it's like, I don't like pineapple or I'm allergic to pineapple. That's bad.
I have bad memories when I drink Southern Comfort again from high school days. So
But that's peach. That's more peachy sort of flavor.
yeah, I drank a bunch.
And that's because you drank
It was
too much.
13 or something. And it wasn't good.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. So it's like some of those flavors might, might be good for you, or it might be bad for somebody else, but you're still experiencing those flavors, which is the cool part. All right.
All right, let's get into sample number 1.
Yeah, we're only giving you 2 choices. It's rye
It's
or
either
bourbon.
rye or bourbon, and then yes, or yeah, that works.
Finish or not finish, and what the like basically what the
Yeah.
finish is.
Or just what the finish is on
What the
it.
finish
Like,
is.
you say what it is, or if it's not finished. Because I'll go ahead and give y'all a little help on your test. There is one whiskey on this list that is not finished. The rest of them are finished in either some type of wine, spirit, wood, or something. So
Herring barrels for everybody.
yes,
Yay!
I forgot that we were coming out with the pickled herring.
Pickled herring barrel. Yeah, you forgot about that. We just
Yeah.
did. We just finished up the worst whiskey I ever had seminar. In which case we did a herring barrel, and we did a barrel that was a single 4-year-old single malt that was held in a hot sauce barrel, and that one actually changed over time in the bottle. It had the the hot sauce, you get the crust on the outside of the bottle.
Yes.
It had that too. That was so everybody that was there. It was supposed to be the worst whiskey I ever had. So everybody tried stuff, and they were like, it was for them.
Yes.
We at the end, I wanted them to say, the worst whiskey I ever had was one of the whiskeys that we poured, and everybody did raise their hand on at least one of the whiskeys. So it is the worst whiskey they ever had.
Speaking of things and having flashbacks of taste, have you ever had Floki?
It would, matter of fact, that was number 3. Is that number 3? 4. That was the sheep dip. We did that one. You ever have Stetson?
Mm-mm.
Texas bourbon?
No.
No, the hats taste better.
Oh.
What's that? Crab whiskey, green crab whiskey.
Had that one, and I thought it tasted nice.
I thought it tasted like low tide.
Okay. Well, maybe it was a different one. I got a lot of fruit flavor.
Well, I got some. You can try it again.
We can
I got
revisit
I
that.
also have the beaver one if you want to try the beaver one.
Oh, is that the? Is that the
beaver
oil?
gland?
Yeah,
Yes, beaver gland. Yeah.
glands. I don't think I've had that one yet, but
Fishkey, and the Inferno, I think were the top 2.
All right, so
But we won't have anything like that today.
yes, there's no beaver gland in this, so don't put that on your test, please.
Finished in beaver glands.
But we're gonna kind of let's not scream out if you think this is what the finish is, or if this is bourbon or rye. But I'd like to hear some people like maybe say, what are you getting off this? Is there any like aromatics that are popping out to you? Any kind of flavors that you're getting? A little bit of spice.
A little bit of spice.
Okay.
What's that? Little smidge of spice. Not super spicy, but a little smidge. She's hedging her bets now. I can't use this hand because guess what? I did wash it, but I just had one of those pulled pork barbecue sandwiches. And like, does it smell like barbecue? It does. I got some stone fruit in this one.
Stone fruit.
Yeah, some stone fruit. Maybe like a plum. A little bit of like plumminess to that.
I pull out kind of a little bit of a burnt sugar note to
A little caramel.
And like a floral note, but not like flowers, more like a darker like sandalwood vibe almost.
Sandalwood, that's a good one. I get that. Yeah. Don't. I will warn you now. If we're giving you stuff, don't let us use the power of suggestion.
Oh no.
If I go, oh, do you taste the pineapple?
Yes.
You now taste pineapple. Trust me, you will now taste pineapple if I do something like that.
Well, there's no pineapple finish or sandalwood
That's right.
finish in
You're
here
okay.
too, so
okay, is everybody sort of got where they're landing on this?
Okay.
Yeah? All right. Did you get the finish? Did you get a finish? All right. All right. Want to try number 2?
All right, let's go into number 2.
Oh man. No, I would say this one has more of that spice. All right. Now you're getting into some baking spices too, right? A little drier. I get like a dry finish to it. It's sweet on the mid palate, but then it does go really dry. That's really nice, Macaulay.
Thank you.
I like that one. I haven't had that one in a while. If you want another thing, if you want to taste some more things and you're sort of getting confused on some things, I will give you another clue. Add a drop of water. Well, put some water in your mouth and then try the whiskey right after. Okay. But it's going to make other things sort of pop out. And it'll also, if you want to add a little bit more water than that, it'll start taking the alcohol out of the pitcher and you get the flavors only.
Yeah, and then I don't know if this is an old distiller's trick or what it is, but like if your nose seems to be getting a little bit blown out at any point, you can kind of smell the back of your hand,
Or your armpit.
fold of the arm, or as long as you don't have a bunch of
Deodorant
or Old Spice,
Old Spice, yeah. Another good
smell
one if
inside
you're
the
doing it
shirt.
at home is smell coffee.
See, I disagree with that one.
I do too. You know what I use? I just usually have tea. Tea is very neutralizing for me. It's the beans. It has to be the beans. You're correct. It's supposed to reset it. Resetting my palate, I usually have unsweetened iced tea.
Something, yes, a little bit of bitterness
Yeah.
to it.
If you find me in Kentucky, I'll be walking. I'm the only person in like Kentucky walking around with unsweetened tea, iced tea. But I usually get like a big glass of it all full of ice and just the tea in there, and that's it.
So as we're going through this progression, we're kind of going up in intensity and flavors, in my opinion.
You want to try this? We're guessing the rye or bourbon and the finish. So take it. No, take the tray. Take the whole tray. Sit down. Have a seat. There you go. All right. How would you guys feel good about that one? Yeah? Feel good?
Anyone got any notes or anything? they
Anything
wanna
anybody
share?
want to tell us about number 2? What was that, sir? Did you say something? I'm sorry. I thought you said something.
So on that one, I get a little bit more perceived sweetness on the nose. I
Yeah.
pull out like a rich vanilla on the nose, like kind of buttercream icing vibe to it.
In the mid palate.
You get some sweetness in the mid palate, and
Yep,
then
but it dries.
yes, that was kind of intentional with that
Yeah.
product, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. The flavor profile is really good.
And I'll kind of explain that intention behind that when we do the reveal a little bit. It'll make sense, I
Okay.
believe. All right. I think we're ready for pour number 3 now. So we're going up in proof as we're during this journey. So higher proof, a little bit more in flavor intensity. We're also going up in age statement on these products too.
So is everybody on number 3?
Yeah, take a drink of water in between these. I think that's helpful. Or just pound them all down and do you.
Do you?
Yeah, I was talking to Ryan earlier. We were kind of talking about, or actually, it was Randall. Sorry.
Okay, we're very confused.
Yes,
He's 6'7" and I'm 5'7".
I just talk all the time, so sometimes it jumbles up in my mind. And we were talking about like whiskey and alchemy and how there you can read these books, you can watch, all these podcasters, and I'm like smelling this and like I don't get the marzipan in this one and fresh cherries, but like part of the reason that we're doing this activity is because your whiskey palate and your experience is part of your journey. You're not just going to read a book and walk away from it. It takes practice to develop your palate and your the flavors and aromatics. And that's if you want to do that. I mean, you don't have to be able to write poetry and dissect every
I
whiskey.
like it, don't like it. That's okay
Step
too.
one is good or bad, and that's it. Or if you want to go right up and collect every sommelier training, executive bourbon steward thing, read every manifesto possible, and get the flavor Bible out. Like that's you can do
The
that.
the biggest clue I give people, and even my daughters started growing up, is telling them is like smell all your food. Just don't eat your food. Smell the food because like so you know what that's whatever it is that smells like, and build your memory, your sense memory up that way. And you're not ever too old to do that. Do that when you go out to dinner or you have food or you're sitting down having something. Like notice really what it smells like. Like be cognizant of it.
Well, I mean, kind of my journey on too through my education and my interests is like when I was in college, I didn't want to. I had no interest in the whiskey industry. I really didn't drink that much bourbon. I wanted to be a master brewer. I did all grain brewing. I focused on brewing in college, and then got that job in the lab and focused on ale yeast. So that's let's just say beer is step one in the foundation of whiskey production. So being able to learn those different grains, yeast profiles, kind of set me on a journey, and then just started drinking a lot of whiskey. I mean, I was a single man, so I would pay my bills, I'd get groceries, I'd have a little bit of leftover cash, and then I would go to the liquor store and I would spend every penny that I had. And what I was doing was I was assembling a bottle collection, liquor collection, but I call that my flavor and aromatic library. So I buy whiskey that I don't like sometimes just because, I mean, I'll go to a distillery and be like, oh, this is the definition of iodine and band aids and not nuance. And it's just like, this is terrible. And it's like, all right, I'm going to buy this bottle. And I mean, I remember going to another lab, Independence Dave Cooperage, and Dr. Andrew has like samples of all really nice whiskey and stuff. And I went in there and he's like, what do you want to try, Macaulay? I was like, do you have any lactobacillus contaminated whiskey or geosmin contaminated whiskey? And he's like, why would you ever want to drink that? And I was like, because I want to learn what it tastes like so I can go back and identify those back in the lab. And
Right,
then
because you don't want that.
no, those are off
Yeah.
notes that you want
Yeah.
don't want. And there's a lot of people, even in professionals in the industry, don't like can't perceive those flavor profiles in there, and they'll just continue to pass off contaminated whiskey. I mean, that's a fact. I mean,
We've had it here. It doesn't happen that often in whiskey as much as it does in maybe wine. And I sort of grew up in the wine industry, stuff like that. And we'll have those. I mean, as soon as you like recognize how if something is like corked, you
yeah.
recognize it. And even if it's I've had ones that's in the background, and most people just kept on drinking. I go, you guys understand there's a flaw here. There's something wrong with this whiskey.
Well,
Right.
after I took my wine sommelier training, I became you go to a bar and you're like, I'd like a glass of your Merlot, and then all of a sudden you get it back. I'm like, um, I'm gonna need you to take that back and open a fresh bottle. Like, how many weeks has that been open? And it's turned to vinegar. He's like, well, that person drank it, and I was like, do I look like that person? Like, no.
Not if you're wearing that chain, you don't. All right, how's everybody done on three? This is straight up good whiskey, isn't it? It is. Yeah, I like it. They're all good, but they're all different, right? They're very different. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we move on to number four?
All right. This is going to be the highest proof that we've gotten into so far. This one is a very unique mash bill. Gonna be the most robust of these, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion. Not your jam. Oh, that face was just like, "Ugh," I couldn't tell if that was like this is bad or am I figuring out what this is. Yeah, this
This
one.
one really pops in the those vanilla caramels sort of category for me, anyways.
See, I get a lot of rye spice in that one. I get.
And what's on the sort of the back palate on that one? That rye spice.
Mhm. I get a little bit of chocolate in that one too. And then I also get kind of like I don't want to say stewed fruit, but like some kind of like cooked cherry or something almost, personally. Or everyone in here is just like, this kid is full of shit right now.
You don't have to taste any of that.
Yeah, this one tastes like $100 bills on a spring day. That's fun
But
though.
number
It's all
four
in
is
fun,
like
fun and
it's
games.
just it basically it's just so straightforward.
Yes.
And if you also, um, not that you should really use color, not that you should really use color, but it can give you clues, but don't count on it. I've had almost practically clear whiskeys have these amazing flavors that you would never have picked. If I looked at it, goes that's just like straw of water. I mean, that's how it's in between straw and watercolor. I mean, it's very little, but it's been so flavorful. Don't do that. But if you start looking at these things and you start seeing certain hues, that can also give you clues.
A lot of times, yes.
It doesn't have to,
Doesn't
but it
always,
can.
but can. And then
That's what I am sort of, jumping on that one. It can, but
yes, it can for sure. I mean, you can also take, let's just say I have the same age distillate. I can put it on the bottom floor of the rick house and I can put it on the top floor of the rick house. That whiskey is going to develop quicker and get more character and
right.
color on the top floor. And then I don't know,
But when I
there's
start seeing
yeah.
reddish hues, I get other clues
Oh,
than just, wood, the influence of just the wood and heat on it.
touche.
I'm trying to give you, I'm giving some clues, will
You've
you?
been trying to give context clues, yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to give context clues. Exactly. So we on number five?
Yeah, let's get into number five. This is where it's gonna five, six, and seven are gonna be the hardest of the final exam of this experience.
Yeah, you don't want to get on the spinning wheel of death. That's all you're trying to avoid. I like this one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that one. A lot of complexity.
That's a thinking person's whiskey right there.
Brian views himself as a philosopher, you know.
I do not at all. I think if we've all been sitting here listening to who's saying what, I think that falls to yes, yes, yes. Mm. This one's your favorite so far? Yeah.
Has anyone ever done a blind tasting before, or is this a first for everyone?
What is the blind tasting we did last week? Huh? Yeah, your house? We just did one too. We did a blind tasting shelf gems. So everything you didn't know what you were drinking and just sort of drank stuff, but they were all bottles between $50 and $60
Mhm.
that are available like all the time that are just sit on the shelf.
Yeah.
And so we did like a whole thing of shelf gems. I think it surprised a lot of people on some of the some of the things they actually really liked.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have perceptions of things.
Right.
Because I was in college in our distilled spirits program, and our professor took us out to the bar, and we did a blind tasting on vodka, and it was neat. And I mean,
They all taste different.
there was like Stoli, Smirnoff, Absolute, Grey Goose, and then Barton from Kentucky. Like cheap vodka. And what was interesting was the Barton was the number one choice of the entire room. Smirnoff was number two, and I think like Absolute was the absolute least favorite of everyone. But it was just like, that vodka from that plastic bottle right there won everyone unanimously in the
I'll
group.
tell you. I'll tell you. A lot of people right now are drinking like vodka and soda.
Hmm.
Right. It's big, and and there's one of the brands from Texas that everybody likes, and my wife and I were on this. We're on the boat in Key West, and she says, "Oh, can you give me the brand name and a soda?" And I went and got it and had it, and she drank. Can you get me another one of those? I said, "Sure." I go, "What's your well?" And I said, just give me the well. And she did, and I brought it back over, and she goes, "Did you switch vodkas?" And she goes, "This is really good." I said, "Yes, I did switch vodkas, and it's to prove the point that this actually tastes just as good, if not better." And you proved my point. So, but if I showed her the two bottles side by side, I know which
Oh,
one
yeah.
you would have picked.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that brand is it's actually distilled in Indiana at
It's and
MGP.
is it Indian or is that the industrial one from what's the other one? ADM? Is it ADM?
I thought it was Indiana.
It could be.
Pretty sure.
Let's put it this way: it's not pot. It's not pot still, one batch at a time.
Handcrafted means you
Handcrafted.
put it in a box sometimes.
That's what we. Huh? What's that? Yeah. Problem is, with Grey Goose, where Grey Goose used to be made. The vodka was made, not the finished product, but the vodka was made in Lewiston, Maine, and then flown over or shipped over, and then added with French water, not the water right around Grey Goose because that was contaminated, and put in the bottle and shipped back.
Yeah, that I guess story of his business growth is very interesting.
It's awesome. I'm gonna point out something though. Like everybody, it's one of those type of things. Is like with anything, with any group, any category. Just remember, I can tell you when different brands were at the top. Now the top moves, and it's like maybe the top is now bigger than the other top was. But there would be a time when no one would have ever thought that Absolute would be taken over as the number one vodka. They did that to themselves, but it's still one of those type of things. At the time, Absolute was unstoppable. So it reminds me about another brand,
But now I can get
Unstoppable.
absolute pepper and pink grapefruit
There you
and
go.
everything else.
Well, no, they just came out with Tabasco. We haven't tried that
Mhm.
one. We were supposed to try that one. We have a bottle of that.
All right,
Ready?
let's move into
Goes on
number
to
six.
number six.
Number six. This one smells so nice.
It does.
I think this has one of the best noses, in my opinion.
Yeah, sweet nose, stone fruit, maybe like cherry or like dark cherry. It's smelling autumn in this one. Autumnal. You just want to use fancy words today. I see that. it's got that spice, but it all of a sudden rolls sweet. You get the spice and it just flips.
At
And
the
it's
very end of the finish.
right.
Yeah.
Just flips. What's that? I don't know the proof difference between this one and the others.
Not off the top of my head.
Um, I want to say it's still
Four
in,
through seven is still
they're still probably
teens.
in there because you're in the teens, I would say.
Yeah, in the teens.
You know, it's funny how alcohol, you can say it's smoother and stuff, but it's funny how alcohol will show in different, you might know better than I do, but it I've had higher proofs not show like with a lot of heat, a lot of aggressive heat. And so that you think like, oh my God, you almost find yourself surprised. You're like, that's like 120 what? Because it's like, there's no way that tastes like that. And I've had like 80 proofs that go like, oh man,
Yeah,
that's hot.
turns all the way down.
That's hot. It just hits you. It hits you hard. You want that the like stoking of the fire without the choking of the chimney. You know what I mean? You want that sort of warm feeling. Right. Exactly.
All
What are you
right.
thinking, Mr. Robinson? Are you finding some whiskeys? Are you drinking some whiskeys now? Okay. You like the what number six? Yeah. Okay. Right. There's an earthiness to it. Yeah. Yeah, and again, like I just point that out. Same tasting notes, different
Respect.
opinion of it or different experience of that note, which we were talking about earlier. Right, right. Misspent, misspent. Eating dirt. Yes. As long as we're not getting into your glue phase, we'll be okay. I was eating dirt, but I was not sniffing glue. We're good. All right.
Were you a paste eater,
A
Ryan?
paste eater?
Paste
Yeah, I was
eater?
not a
No.
paste eater. That's, all right. How about let's move on.
Final pour.
Yeah, to number seven.
Number seven.
Number seven. Well, I've already had this today.
That is true.
And that was almost immediate on trying that one. If you get remotely close on this one, a finish, I will commend you. Um, all right. And that's rich and deep and that's bold flavors going on in that too. There's a whole bunch of things going on in that too. It's all very well put together. I don't think it again, sort of it goes to that balanced sort of thing. There's a lot of flavors going, but it's still very balanced. Nice. All right. Yeah. Every caramel at the end. I'm repeating so people will hear us on the thing. Yep. Hmm. At the very end, a little cloying at the very end.
What a little what?
Cloying.
What's that mean?
It means that it goes to the sweet, like a little too sweet.
Oh, okay.
Let me make a note for you, Miss Robin Robinson. Wheel of Death. I guess you know who's taking the ride today. I don't know. No, just teasing. All right. Has everybody filled in all their blanks? No? Do you need to go back at anything? Oh, you need more. Well, I know I needed more sample.
Yeah.
We've never heard that before, sir. The guy that's here for a day of sampling goes, "Oh, I need more."
Yes.
All right. Everybody got it? We good? All right. So you filled it out. Hand it to somebody else if you can.
Swap the
Swap
neighbor.
over here or something like that. She'll be hard on her dad, so she can swap right there. I don't have a problem with that. He won't get away with anything.
Yeah, I got it.
You get the box? Yeah, put it on the chair.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, Johnny. All right, you guys. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the reveals?
All right, we'll go.
All right.
We'll go. I'm just gonna say.
Hold on. Let's everybody. I want everybody to settle down first.
Settle down, class.
Settle down, class. Settle down. Settle down. Don't let me hand out detention slips. Detention. There's no whiskey in detention.
So we'll do the reveal. I'm just gonna run through 1 through 7 real quick, and then I will kind of talk about each of them and break them down for the final. All right. Sample number 1 is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey finished with toasted Mizunara oak.
I think I believed on that one. I said something about breakfast. They can get 2 points.
Yes.
You can get 2 points, right? Yeah. One for getting the bourbon or rye, and then 1 point for the finish, right? Yep. It was yes. Well, if you put down it was finished or nothing, then you didn't think it was finished, right? If you put one down that was not finished in anything, and put it was not finished in anything, then you would be correct. You would get the point. So this one would be bourbon finished in Mizunara.
Yes.
Would be the 2 point answer.
Yes.
All right. Does that make sense? All right. Mizunara. It would be bourbon would be 1 point. The finish would be another point.
Bourbon Mizunara.
Bourbon Mizunara would be worth 2 points.
Yep.
If you got one of those two, then it'd only be worth 1 point. I'm feeling I'm not explaining it correctly, but no, you don't get any points.
Yep.
All right. Each thing I'm going to do it one more time. Each thing is worth 2. Each guess is each bourbon is worth 2 points. One is the type of whiskey it is, and 2 is the finish. So there's a possible you could get 2 points. Yes. If you only got one of those right, what do you get? 1 point.
All right.
Did you, John? I'll turn it up in the back so you can hear.
So, pour number 2 is a blend of sweet and sour mash, straight bourbon whiskey. So
bourbon would be 1.
And then it is finished in a honey cask. That is our newest product.
I gotta tell you right now, I love just the subtlety of the honey flavor. Did you guys get honey on that one? Because it's predominant. All right,
but nuanced at the same
time. It is
time.
new. It's predominant, but it's not like it's not cloying.
It's not an age stated product, but it's 5 to 6-year-old whiskey in it. All right, number 3 is a straight bourbon whiskey finished in toasted French oak.
So, bourbon, French oak.
Yes. Number 4 is straight bourbon whiskey, no finish.
Bourbon, no finish.
Bourbon, no finish.
So I'm just curious. Did anybody get 4 no finish? Yeah. Just curious. That's the
That's the
barely
barely
legal
legal.
bourbon. What's that? Okay.
Well, that one's interesting because it's 51 corn, 49 rye, so it is right there on the cusp of being a rye whiskey.
Mhm.
All right, let's see if anyone now we put some hard ones in here now. All right, so next one, number 5, is a bourbon whiskey finished in red and white port.
We will accept
One of those if you get it.
port.
Yes, we will accept port.
We'll accept port. Who liked that one? Just out of curiosity. Anybody like that one? No.
Um,
That's Portal. No, that's is that Portal?
Perpetuum.
Perpetuum. Portal's the rye. Perpetuum is the bourbon.
So cat's out of the bag on what number 6 is for some people in the room. It is a rye whiskey. Number 6 is a rye whiskey aged in red and white port. So that is Portal.
That's Portal. What's that? No, I don't think so. Because it'd be if you put fortified wine, I would accept.
Yes.
If you put fortified wine, I'd be okay with that.
Yes.
This is the one I was wondering what everybody was going to put.
All right.
Yeah. So, huh? Is earthy, and you didn't like the earthy, and Robin lives there, and he thought it was great.
See, that's the beauty of this. So number 7 is a rye whiskey finished in Madeira wine and Armagnac.
I get the Madeira is a dessert wine.
I'll accept that.
I'll accept that.
Accept that one.
How about this? I'll give you half a point.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get because really, to be honest with you, when it's a double finish,
That one's
especially like the other ones were 2 ports, I can see you getting that. But a double finish that are very different from each other.
all right.
What's that?
Let's
Yeah.
everyone tally
Yeah, we have
up
them
your
upstairs.
points or for the other test. I'll let you confer for a second.
That's the last one.
We will see.
Blunt blend.
You need a curve on it.
Yeah.
The final finish was Armagnac and Madeira wine. Armagnac and Madeira wine.
All right. So I'm just going to, I guess I'll just go up the ladder. The lowest being, did anybody get 2 points? Just 2. That was your final score, was 2 points. All right. 4 points. 6 points?
Someone got
5 points? 5. Did anybody get 6? 7?
Oh.
Ooh. 7? 8 points? I wanted you to just give me your final, but that's okay. 8 points? So 7 is the top? 7.5. Oh, did somebody get 7.5?
Who got 7.5? Oh.
Right. So that's 7.5. There you go.
So that
7.5. They won.
He won by 0.5.
Point-
Wow.
5. The Russian judge gave 0.5. Thank you, Mr. Gorowski.
Well, I'm going to talk through these, but I hope you guys enjoyed this experience a little bit. I mean, journeying into your own sensories, your own
This is a tough
constitution,
one. I mean, this is tough to do.
and consciousness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, blind tasting's tough. Like that. There's no I'm actually
especially with dark
I'm
arts,
actually
because
very
the finish could be
surprised that there
anywhere.
was. I had very low expectations on the test grades, and 7.5. Everyone else did very well. So, um,
I think even person to get two.
yeah, two.
I
Like,
mean,
yeah.
that's to me that's
I mean,
fantastic.
I lived when I was living in Danville, like the bartender would always like pour me a blind pour, and I mean, I could see everything on the shelf. I mean, I went in there like 3 or 4 nights a week, so probably did this 100 times, and there was only 2 times that I ever got it. Was able to get Maker's Mark one day because I just did a barrel pick at Maker's Mark, and another one was I did picked out Old Ezra because I was at an Old Ezra barrel pick that day.
It's like, you're not fooling me today. I had that in my mouth today. I know I did.
I was like, I know this one.
Know this one. Right. You're getting the notes, but not knowing what exactly the finish is. Right.
Yeah, so just
And that just, by the way, that also comes with, tasting and time. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
just to
Because
run
you got to
through
know what
these.
you got to know what Armagnac tastes like to know that that's what it is. I mean, if you don't know it, then it's awful hard to pick it, right? I mean, you're more accurate giving you flavor profiles. In Armagnac, you could certainly, if you just first time trying Armagnac, would pull out that same, yeah, but you'd pull out the same flavor notes. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those type of things you're trying. I knew you were thinking that. I knew you were thinking that. And I was like, I was like, that son of a bitch is thinking Armagnac. Son of a bitch. Because I don't think I'd pick it out. And then he's like, Aberrana. I'm like, oh. And then I
I
went,
know when he
oh,
said A, I was like,
yeah,
damn.
damn. I was like, damn. So, and by the way, even Aberrana is sort of a funny finish because it could be done, it could be overdone, it could be overdone too much. But when it's done right, fabulous.
We do it pretty right.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If you do it right, it's I think it's pretty fabulous. Going to the extremes, not as much.
So we will be having these at the tastings and stuff, but let me just talk through these real quick. So this first product, the number one was the Toasted Mizunara. That is a sweet mash high rye bourbon. It is non-age stated, but it's around 5 to 6 years old. That one is 100 proof. I hate to call this our entry level product, but this is probably the
Lowest.
lowest cost one there. So we have 4 products in our core lineup. I have 3 of them here today. The fourth one, which is not on the table, is a Amberana rye whiskey. So number 2 is one of the newest releases. So this is actually a sweet and sour mash. So it's a blend of sweet mash high rye bourbon and sour mash or high rye bourbon from MGP. And then I finished that in honey cask. So scoured the earth, went through probably 100 different pollinator varietals from around the United States and abroad, and found this honey that tasted like uh, literally tastes like caramel and French vanilla. It's not like the nuances like we're playing in this game. It just slaps those flavors. So small farmer was able to buy 110 gallons of it. So we had very small run of this. I think there was maybe like 13, 14 barrels of this. So I did 7 single barrels or 8 single barrels and then put this blend together. So we call this one Long Strange Drip because I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan. And this is right when I was blending, that's when Bob Weir died. So that was my creative muse. So a lot of my products are named after Grateful Dead songs. Like there's Sherry Garcia, there was Dark Star, there's Ripple Rye, and now there's Long Strange Drip. That sounds like the next barrel pick.
Got one coming up.
Yeah,
Friend of the devil is the.
Looks like it's on the bottling schedule right now, brother. I'll take a credit card right now.
I'm actually going down in April, and I was going to stop by, so maybe that might be the one we'll do.
All right, number 3 goes back into the core lineup. That one is our Jupi Fleur French Oak. So Jupi is the forest origin in France that the wood comes from. It is the smallest AOC in France that they harvest French oak from. Extremely old growth, tight grain wood. very low tannic structure, so very good for whiskey production because a lot of French oak is very tannic, very good for wine production, but not so good for whiskey. Love that wood. When I put that together, I called the cooperage, and the guy was like, "You got really good taste." And I thought to myself, I was like, "Wow, I know exactly what this means." He's like, "That's the most expensive French oak money can buy." And I was just like, "Of course it would
Are we
be."
charging this?
Thank you. Yeah, and like that one won 99 points, double gold, all this stuff too, and then so there's all these awards and stuff. I forget about what they are because it means something when I win it, and then I forget about them. But number four is one that's got a bunch of awards recently. This is our barely legal bourbon. So I think that one's 8 years old. We always do that one at cash strength. So lowest has been like 108, and then the highest has been like 122. They usually fluctuate in the teens though. But really unique mash bill. This one's called barely legal because it's 51 corn, 39 rye, and 10% malted rye, and I'm going to be laying down some contract distillation of that for that mash bill at Jackson Purchase Distillery in Hickman, Kentucky, where grew up. Our family farm is there, so we're going to use some of those grains there. Don't have rye on the farm, so I'm going to be working with a different farmer to get that and get the malted rye. Um, Fred Minnick, top 100 this year, and then Ascot Awards won best blended straight bourbon whiskey. And then let's see, I can't count right now. So number five, and well, let me talk about both of these. Five and six are very similar. So me and Ryan were talking about sometime today about the Whiskey Advocate micro blending article, and that was what these products were based off of, was that experience, because we blended 2 barrels of red and white port bourbon, and then we blended 2 barrels of red and white port rye whiskey to it. And what's interesting is after that experience, and like I've really liked the combo of red and white port, that's one of our like now like specialty releases of the year. So that one is called the Empyrean. That one will be coming out later this year. So the last one is the Blunt Blend. So it's my take on a cigar batch. It started out as a joke in the warehouse because we smoke weed. So they made the Blunt Blend. Actually called the batch Dank Arts though. Got a trademark on there for Blunt Blend. So if y'all see anyone making a Blunt Blend out there, give me a call and I might give you a prize after that lawsuit. But that one is it's Madeira finished 95.5, and then Armagnac finished 95.5, and I take a lot of pride in sourcing these barrels. Like I spent a month in France with our distributor partner here, making these interpersonal relationships, and honestly, they're cultural exchanges, trade envoys for like America's native spirit, Kentucky. And then I also take those products back to the United States and tell their story. And so we help each other out. It's a principle of reciprocity. And it's I'm trying to get in the export market, but it's really difficult because the brand of America has been hurt. There's barriers to entry outside of the tariffs because there's just a different attitude in the world right now. So I take pride in trying to go to these foreign countries and try to rebuild that relationship one sip at a time.
It's great. Hey, I want to thank you for doing this today.
Yes, thank you all for coming out.
I hope you guys had fun. Just don't forget, you after this, you can find this on Julio's Liquors Facebook page. It's we did this live. If you want to go any other time and look for It's the Liquor Talking on Spotify, or better yet, and I even have the QR code up here if anyone's that down here can see it, or anybody at home looking. You go to YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Look for It's the Liquor Talking YouTube. We have over like 250 something, I think, at this point, videos.
Did you get the OnlyFans account going yet?
I did, but I'm not. But I refuse to show my feet. So there you go. All right. Thanks, Macaulay, for stopping by. Thank all of you for being here today. We really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of Go Whiskey Week.